It's time for Cats Talk Wednesday. Small town and big city joined forces. Vinny Hardy of Lynch, Kentucky, and Terry Brown of Louisville, Kentucky, team up to give you free-flowing, laid-back sports talk. Focus on Kentucky Wildcats, as well as pertinent information in the NBA, NFL, and Major League Baseball.
Cats Talk Wednesday, BS3 Network, Terry Brown, Vinny Hardy. Another episode. Terry Brown fresh from the trip to Omaha. Man, we say we seen a lot, but we just saw History TV, and you was out there all in it, just basking in it, man. How was it?
Awesome. had to pick this bad boy up. You can kind of see.
Man.
Yeah, I had to get something to remember the trip.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't want something with any other teams on it because I was like, I don't want to get a shirt and I still got Tennessee on it. I don't want that. I don't want North Carolina. It's hurting my feelings.
Yes.
And so I did get another poster as well. So I got some stuff. Had a great time in Omaha. Had been through Omaha when we drove to Idaho.
Okay.
So I've been through Omaha, but not actually visit Omaha. Nice place.
Cool.
And everything. It worked out great because my thing is I've been a big fan of the College World Series, the men's College World Series for baseball. And I always said, man, it would be really cool to go watch it, but with my team.
Yeah.
And we know the foundation that Coach Madison laid and all those folks all built to that moment. And, man, it was great. So I'm driving I-80 into Omaha, straight shot from Des Moines, not a problem. And I see a car. I'm like, what in the world? I said, I recognize that license plate. Kentucky, Jefferson. Okay. We rolling. I said, okay. Saw another car. Had one of the blue and white Kentucky specialty plates. Go Cats. I said, okay. Never ever thought I would see that, but there were about 3 or 4 of us heading into Omaha, which I thought was pretty cool. Which, Tom Hart had tweeted out. ESPN's Tom Hart does a lot of the Kentucky games on the SEC network, but he had said somebody had said to him they didn't know if Kentucky was going to travel. I was like, man, we show up 20,000 deep for press conferences. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like we sell out glorified open practices. Come on now. Come on. And I got there about 10:30 local time. Met up with a friend of Kate's who is from Omaha who hooked me up. He reached out and said, hey, TB, I can get us some tickets. And I'm like, yeah, sure. Yeah, I'll do that. Would you want these seats or you want reserve seats? I need reserve seats where they come bring the food to you. Anyway, that's how I roll. So anyway, so we meet up, get there, and it's just it's like a big fair almost. You got all the merchandise booths, you got food booths. It's they call it the baseball village. And that's where I got all my kind of swag and everything like that. Met up with Jason Huber that listens.
Yeah.
I said, how crazy is this? We meeting right in front of Charles Schwab Field here in Omaha. But no, really, really great. He had just come from Rocco's with the Jello shots.
Yeah.
And not that he participated. He just had come from Rocco's. Let me be very clear. I'm not implicating him in anything like that. But, we got to walk around the stadium. And the coolest thing was they had the trophy on display. I know I shared some of those pictures. And it was a good time. It was good to see like Omaha kind of go all in on this.
Yeah.
And then the game starts, I'm trying to be Mr. Cool, but I see behind third base, it's just blue, man. It's just blue.
Man.
And it's just packets of blue kind of throughout. But I was more on the North Carolina State side. I was on the first base side.
Okay.
Met some really, really nice NC State fans, but I was like, yeah, you got to lose. So, and there was just a bunch of people there. They were kind of indifferent, kind of the seats I was in. It's something to do.
Mm.
But as we got later on the game, I converted a few people. I joke all the time. I'm like Abe Lincoln. I left Kentucky for a Midwestern I-State just to spread the goodness, just to show there's a better way.
Midwestern I-State. That's hilarious.
I'm ridiculous.
It's a bunch of them out there. You right?
Yeah, I drive through all. They all touch. I was my favorite, but it ain't stiff competition. Indiana, because Indiana is always over there from the Ohio River, and Illinois because they stole Lincoln. I really didn't think about Iowa that much, and Idaho got potatoes. So my I-State rankings, it's Iowa, Idaho, and then tie for last, Illinois and Indiana. That's right.
Iowa vaulted to the top.
But sometimes circumstances change. But I'm playing it cool. The teams are out there stretching, and I just look at I took a picture of it. I look at the I say Jumbotron because I'm an old person, but the video board. And it's just, welcome to the College World Series, your Kentucky Wildcats. And did the cat growl that we used to do at football.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is really happening. Right. Then they get the field together, and I'm like, this is legit happening. And they introduce all the NC State guys. And now for the I'm trying to remember the verbiage, but now for those Kentucky Wildcats. And I'm just sitting here like, this is the College World Series.
Yeah.
And they get announced, they get ready, they're doing all that, and then a Go Big Blue chant starts. And my favorite has always been men's basketball. Some team had a shirt night, and now for the last 3 or 4 minutes of game time, they got to watch on ESPN with the Go Big Blue chant as the Cats dribble out the clock. That used to be my favorite. My favorite also, when I could hear the Go Big Blue chant out of L&N Cardinal Stadium for the last 4 or 5, 6 years, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. We got to talk about that.
Yes.
Mr. Walker done said it. And the Blue fans, they mad. They mad. Well, last year was I don't want to get into that. Let me finish up on baseball. But I'm just sitting here like, the Cats are doing it. And then I see Coach Nick come out and they do the lineup cards. I'm like, this is really happening.
Yeah.
And it was great. It was a great game. I know it didn't end against A&M and against Florida like we thought. But, man, ain't nothing going to take away that feeling on Saturday, because we were up 3-1.
Yeah.
You know how you're watching a game. You and I talk about this all the time, right? You're watching a game and you kind of get a feeling one way or the other. This is our day, or this isn't our day.
Uh-huh.
Or if it's a championship game, a Super Bowl, whatever it is, you go to that game and you're like, you go into it, yes, we're going to win. Then it starts and it's like, okay, all right, we made it this far. You start rationalizing. Well, they were up 3-1 in the 5th or the 6th. And I'm like, oh, snap, this can happen.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the pitcher is dueling, but it was one of those wrong place, wrong time. And that NC State dude smoked that ball, just smoked it. I was like, okay, 3-3. All right.
Yeah.
The best thing was the home run. And I'll be like my dad by 2-5. Nicholson, the first baseman in
Yeah.
the ninth inning, because it's 4-3 going to ninth. I'm like, man. But the good thing was the crowd kept going. And they do all this stuff. I'm learning. I haven't been to a Kentucky baseball game in 4 or 5 years. I think it was the first year, whatever it was, they opened Kentucky Proud Park. It's been a minute, right?
Uh-huh.
And so I'm trying to figure out all the stuff. But toward the end, the crowd had bought into those antics. Somebody's walk-up music, you do this. Somebody's walk-up music, you do that. And even non-committed observers were okay. And it's like, my thing is, it's all the good, all the Kentucky fans. We are not the problem. Let me put that out there. It's just all our shenanigans. If we're the plucky underdogs, it plays well. But if we're doing that and we're beating your basketball team by 30, I can see where that carrying on. But we fine, y'all. We fine. Like I said, this is what we do during basketball season. But when, like I said, Ben's a good man. He took a lot of those candid pictures of me.
that was okay.
Because when Daly comes up, I'm like, man. Because if I'm not mistaken, like the heart of the NC State order was coming up, like, at least maybe the dude that scored a couple of runs. And I'm just sitting here like, oh man. And, I'm locked in, right? I'm going back and forth with my wife and I'm keeping her updated. And I know, I think I shared that screenshot with you. I said, oh, she's like, oh, they just setting up a walk-off. And I'm like, oh, okay, all right. And then, yay, verily, it came to pass. But when Daly hit it, I lost track of it. I mean, I'm not an outfielder, let me be honest. But it was kind of a gray day. They just turned on the lights. I lost track of it. So my eye then drops to the fielder. And you can see him set up, and then slow motion, he just kind of slumped. And I'm looking, and I mean, every time a team scored a run, they played the fight song. And so he's around the bases, the PA guy does his thing, and then it's on U of K. And that's why I'm hoarse. Yeah, my buddy Ben, he caught me right when I realized, oh, that's a home run.
Uh-huh.
Oh, we went. Like, I felt so bad, but I was just completely discombobulated. The ball took forever to get there, and I'm just watching him around the bases, and I'm screaming and hollering.
He caught you in the exact moment.
Like y'all gonna know about the University of Kentucky, and we're singing on U of K, and the Kentucky fans have kind of come down closer to the Kentucky dugout, and it's just a "Go Big Blue" chant, and it's awesome.
Man,
I love that. So it was a good crowd for Kentucky. Don't think that there wasn't.
Uh-huh.
Another one of my concerns was, one of my beefs was, look, I ain't gonna watch nobody's pockets, but if you go into a Kentucky football game, don't wear a basketball jersey. I'm kind of, it's weird, right? I didn't want to see a bunch of people show up with Kentucky basketball stuff, because then they don't think you take it serious. Mm-hmm. But I'm telling you, it was Kentucky baseball. If some folks had like my Kentucky baseball shirt that's got some holes in it, showing a little bit of age to it, it was great. It was absolutely great. Like I said, just after the game, I'm high-fiving. We going Big Blue chants and all this kind of stuff. And yeah, it's.
I just keep going back to, like you said, the whole, you're in the stadium, you're looking around, you see the "Welcome to Kentucky Wildcats" on there. The whole lead up to that first pitch, the lineup cards, all of that had never, ever been done in Omaha by UK baseball, and you was there for
I,
the first time that it happened
I,
in that stadium in that city. Crazy, man.
I took a picture of the first pitch, and I'm gonna hold on to that one. And that's what I was telling Ben. I said, we're used to Final Fours at this point, right? Like that's not moving the needle, and it would take getting into the playoff for a bowl game to really be huge at this point. Um, but this is something that just moves the needle for everybody. It was I was glad I went.
Mhm.
I really was. It kind of worked itself out because I had told Kate uh, when the cat started hot, I'm like, man, if they ever get to Omaha, I want to go. And she said, okay. And you know, they made it, and our friend Ben reached out, and it was one of those things. It couldn't have been playing any better. It was a Saturday. It was great weather going in. I know that the Florida A&M game after, I think they had lightning or something. Because I as soon as the Kentucky game, I was like, yeah, I'm out. I'm not gonna sit here for A&M. But anyway,
Because um, yeah, just that whole lead up, and it it's a bucket list event anyway. I mean,
yeah,
me and my dad had talked about. We need to go out here and watch that one year, and it was one of those things we would have gone just to go, even if Kentucky hadn't been there. And okay, we're watching Cal State, Fullerton, and LSU.
it's
Okay,
always
cool, whatever.
always those teams, right?
Whatever.
Yeah,
We here for it. We
the
gonna just
Titans.
watch it. Yeah, we just here watching a good baseball team in Omaha because that's where it is, and that's where And then, like you said, the fact that you live 2 hours away, and then Kentucky goes, and so you not only go, but Kentucky's there. Yeah, I mean
It
that's
it it like look. So afterwards, honestly, I was trying to think of sporting events I've seen in person, and I mean, for me, this is number one that I've seen in person.
yeah, wow.
I mean, because I immediately said I was like, oh yeah, this is top four, but I was like, well, part of it is I haven't. You know how it is with your favorite teams on the West Coast. A little difficult to get to a lot of those games. So,
Mhm.
but as being even Kentucky games in person, yeah, this bar none.
Mm.
The best part is I took a picture of the Kentucky bus. It was right outside the door to go that we went in. I said, "Well, that's a good omen. The Cats is right here." So
And we even had to change. Well, I did. Like you said, we just so used to Final Fours because January, February, Kentucky traditionally that's how it is. We
yeah,
used to okay, 2 games this weekend, 2 games next weekend, Final Four. That's that's just burned into our brain because we've lived through that and been there and done it. This whole regional and then the super regional, you got to do all that to even get to Omaha, and then it's double elimination there, and then it's this. It was a whole grind just watching postseason baseball. It's like, whoo, man,
yeah,
this is hard. I mean, they're at home and it's still hard because you got all these teams losing their regionals at home and all this kind of stuff. You got to win 3 to get to the super. Then you got to win 2 more. That's 5 games before you even got to get to Omaha. And I just had to learn how to watch postseason baseball because it was new.
right. All this stuff is new, and I think once you kind of break that seal, I think that kind of sets things differently for you. Get Once you kind of get over that hump, kind of propel you forward.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, it was great. But post game, the weather, the finish, I couldn't have scripted it any better
Yeah.
for our first game. I did declare that the biggest win in Kentucky history in the College World Series. So
Yeah. You had to. your starting center fielder goes out and the backup comes in with a diving catch. I mean, and the commentators are like, the ball always finds you, no matter where you get plugged in at. And there he is having to make a big diving catch in a big moment. And hey, he was ready.
The frustrating thing was most of NC State's hits were just kind of, they weren't hit hard, but they were, they were finding. And I was like, man, but Kentucky was hitting the ball hard, but that wind was ridiculous. I don't know if that translated on TV, but the wind, just where we were, it'd be, and I'm like, oh man, I could not field on a day like today.
Yeah. Sure.
But it was great. Give this team those accolades as Corey Price, put out there. I'm trying to think. It was a very short list, and it was just Kentucky and UCLA that finished in the top 8: men's and women's basketball, baseball, and something else. But anyway, just to say, we're more than a basketball school. Mm-hmm. You can be good at a lot of different things.
Yes, that. Ty Crittenberger was my man's name. I was blanking on the backup center fielder that came in clutch, but yeah, he stepped in there and did his thing. And we had hoped that we would still be watching, Kentucky and A&M right now as we're on. Like you said, it didn't happen that way. Sometimes you can tell it's going to be a bad day, and that's how this one was today. But everybody shouldn't let today just ruin what just happened. This whole you've never seen your team play in Omaha until Saturday. You've never seen Kentucky baseball play in mid-June until Saturday. And they did look. It's great getting there. I don't know how many teams. Look, we was the last SEC team to get there. I don't know how many Power 5 teams that still haven't made it and all that. I'm sure that could be looked up. We could have got there and went 2 and done, and still would have been, hey, they made it. NC State and Virginia, they was 2 and out. So Kentucky gets there, wins their first game, lives to play a couple more games. So 46 wins, a record for wins in a season, SEC co-champs. I mean, you win your super regional, you get this. And they had a good solid year last year. Went to super regional against LSU, eventual champ. Hey, they were better. A lot of people wanted to say, oh, that was a fluke. And then they followed up this year by getting to Omaha. So now we stacking good years. So,
And that's all it takes to keep the momentum moving forward. So I have no doubt that Coach Nick will be back. But it was a great experience. Like I said, just a overall great day.
Yeah, man. Unbelievable. Glad you got to be out there. Glad it was only 2 hours away from where you presently reside. So just glad it worked out. Like you said, couldn't work out no better. And glad you was in the building, man. Glad you was in the building.
Oh yeah, it was great. Like I said, just Kentucky is really here. Like that's the
that's how I felt watching the 98, 99 Outback Bowl on New Year's Day. They played Penn State. Mm-hmm. I was like, whoa, we playing on New Year's Day. Oh, that's Joe Paterno them over there. Whoa. And the baseball team just did that same thing.
Yeah, like I said, it was a good day.
Mm-hmm. So man, it was just cool seeing you documented in between jello shots for you and Hugh. Oh, never mind. Even though y'all just walked right on by Rocco's and just said, there it is. But good stuff, man. Good stuff. So you say it's like a fair. I mean, like the Ferris wheel is back there. The whole setup outside the stadium, man. It's just like a big Like a big carnival outside of it for real.
Yeah, yeah, you get got food and all that kind of stuff. I didn't get any of that, but it was just cool. And of course, they got you can get batting gloves and all this kind of baseball
Mm.
themed stuff if you wanted to do that. You know, one of those things to see how fast you throw and can you hit a pitch. And I'm like, I'm too old to prove such things. I, I, I don't need to be out here ruining my ruining my shoulder to prove a point to who for what.
So you
But
go,
no, yeah,
you say you go straight and oblique trying to swing. That's what you're saying.
yeah, that's what, yeah. Turning on nothing.
so 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 does Omaha goes in like you said the city gets behind it. They go in for it like Louisville does Derby. Is that kind of the same?
Yeah. That's how Ben was presenting it, and it is. Because my thing is this. I always say, there's always those Kentuckians, those Louisvillians that don't like the Derby, blah blah blah. Whatever, you're not very cool. Whatever. But if you're not New York or L.A. or Miami or Chicago, how does the rest of the world get to hear about your piece of earth, right?
Mm-hmm.
And things like Mardi Gras, New Orleans, boom, that's a thing.
Nope.
And they are going to and they're going to do whatever they can to make Mardi Gras as fun and as profitable for everybody, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what Louisville does with the Derby. I'm assuming that's what Baltimore does with Pimlico. Things that are the same place every year.
Yeah.
You can build that up. So, and you could tell, new stadium. Rosenblatt is gone. We've got the Charles Schwab Stadium, and all the stuff around there is new. That seems to be the name of the game.
Yeah.
If you've got something that just can register, yeah, you gotta lock into that.
So is Ben an Omaha native? Is he a Cornhusker? Is he a Big Ten guy? How's Ben roll?
Yeah. He's an Omaha native and like a friend of Kate's, and like I said, he reached out and offered some tickets because my thing was like, I'm a go even if I've got to go to Ticketmaster. I'm a go. Like I said, it was just in out. I wasn't gonna need a hotel or anything like that. Yeah, but he was talking. I'm trying to remember his brother or somewhere because we were talking about the difference between the SEC and Big Ten football.
Okay.
And their thoughts were, and I've heard this from others, is, oh yeah, Big Ten, yeah, they'll show up 100,000 deep for a game, blah 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 blah, but there ain't nothing like SEC. People is different.
It's Big Ten people saying this.
I've heard that from people that have done both.
Okay.
The guy I work with, he's a Florida fan of all things, so that'll be great when I go in tomorrow. But just talking about the difference, like it is different, and it goes back to my old thing is, like we said during the COVID, all those other conferences. Well, we don't know if we're gonna play. Well, we gotta look at the numbers. SEC said, them boys are gonna play football. And people was like, well, wait. I said the SEC's will to be good at this. It's pretty good.
Yep. And what's in 11 days? What Texas and Oklahoma officially join, and then there'll be a media day. We'll get. I mean, as an SEC guy, I will say I used to enjoy when they were Big 8, Big 12. Texas A&M on Black Friday was, that win. Ricky Williams, Von Miller. That was always a fun game, and so now we get that back, and now it's in the SEC. So I'm looking forward to that. When I'm not sure when they play on the schedule, if it's Thanksgiving weekend or what, but it's going to be cool to see that back again. And I mean, the Aggie people are probably still a little salty that Texas is coming because they had the conference to themselves, whatever. But I'm glad that rivalry is going to be back, because that is one that I would step out. I would peep outside of whatever's going on in the SEC. Back in the 90s and the 2000s to see what Texas and Orange and Aggies were talking about.
Oh yeah, I'm glad that that's back. This dog.
So we got TB in Omaha.
Yeah.
And that was, Cats in Omaha. TB was there. Magical season, history making season. Got Woj on TV now talking about your Lakers, and is Reddick gonna be playing B now since Hurley said no?
I don't even know, man. I like I said, at this point, I don't know. I'm gonna be there and cheer them on, but I can't keep up with this because it used to be drama with winning. Now it's just drama, and then we don't have the wins to go with it. I don't have the mental. I can't keep up with this, and it's a tough gig. It is a tough gig. Coaches don't last long.
They don't. I mean, Vogel got 3 years, won the title, and
yeah,
get out of here, man.
Yeah, and Darvin Ham got 2. Like it, I didn't realize that Kobe had played for 10 coaches.
Ooh. What? Dale Harris?
Yeah,
Phil,
Rudy T, Mike D'Antoni.
Oh man, Bernie Bigstaff was in there for a minute.
Yeah. I mean, there's 10 total. Mike Brown.
Ooh.
Yes, 10 total coaches.
You said D'Antoni too, right?
Yeah. And then Byron, I just said Byron Allen. Byron Scott.
Byron Scott. Yeah, I forgot about Byron Scott.
But yeah, like Kobe went through a whole bunch of coaches.
Sure did.
And when Phil left the first time, Phil wrote that book that I read. I was like, oh, ain't no way he gonna come back and coach. It was that 04 season, man. When they said Phil was coming back, I'm like, for really? Because Phil was just like throwing everybody under the bus in that book. It's a good book though.
Yeah.
But I was still like, what?
Yeah, you thought that was the big exit, that it was burning the bridge forever, but nope.
That's what I thought. I'm like, you're not gonna be talking about. I mean, it was, of course, Shaq was fat, yeah. I read a couple of Phil Jackson books.
Yeah, for sure.
His book on coaching philosophy is very interesting. Talks about how he got Michael Jordan to buy into him. Remember, he was the assistant under Doug Collins.
Mm-hmm.
The triangle was this weird thing, but he showed Michael, like, this is going to take some wear and tear off of you. We can put you a different. It breaks down how he explained, his philosophy to Jordan. It was about coaching, getting your top players all on the same page. I'm rambling. I'm a nerd about that kind of stuff. I will watch shooting videos. I will watch whatever, man.
Hey, after losing to Detroit in the conference finals all those years, I'm sure he's probably ready to listen. Phil just come in a couple tweaks, and
yeah,
there you go.
So, but back to the Lakers. I don't know. It sounds crazy when you say this out loud, but the best ownership front office the Lakers had was Playboy Jerry Buss and really angry Jerry West. Like, that's the best run. I mean,
Playboy Jerry Buss and angry Jerry West.
Yeah.
So winning time was Jerry. Was that accurate for Jerry? I didn't watch it.
No, so they took him to the extreme. But what I got from the book was he was from Appalachia. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, Appalachia. So
Appalachia. Okay,
It's a little tomato to it. I say Appalachia though,
but because he's from West Virginia, and from what it sounded like in the book is everybody involved with the Lakers was L.A. glitz and glamour and all that. But Jerry West is from wherever West Virginia, not even Charleston, right? He from one of them little hooks and nooks and crannies.
Aberrant
Right?
Creek, I think. Yeah.
Right. And so he was just more direct. That's the way I took it in the book. It wasn't that he was angry, wanting to fight people, but he wasn't quite as LA as other people were.
So he was just blunt, straightforward.
Yeah.
They didn't paint him as like country and backwards or nothing.
No.
Okay.
The TV show has got him being angry and breaking stuff, and that kind of stuff wasn't in the book, but he was just very direct. And I say that because he's the one. I read this book, another book, History of the Lakers. I think it was Jack McCallum. Can't remember. But it basically, Jerry West is the one that sat down Kareem and Magic and said, if both of y'all will give a little bit, we can win. Because they was butting heads. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And then what happens? 5 championships in 8 seasons, right?
Yep.
With 4 more finals appearances. Like, okay. All right. So, again, he is the GM. I think we talked about this last week. It was a week, 3 or 4 days. Traded for Kobe, signed Shaq. That's a pretty good. But when they lost in 99, got swept out of the playoffs, Jerry West is the one that was like, we need to fix this. And then what happened?
3-peat.
Right? And then he left and got mad, which deservedly so. And then went to Memphis. And then what happened? Shaq gone. Kobe has those 3, like, I'm going to shoot 80 times a game seasons, which wasn't fun for nobody else but Kobe.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But he was always kind of the adult in the room, because everybody in LA had an ego.
Yep.
Early on. I mean, Kareem was Kareem. Pat Riley kind of thought, he's like, I'm from Kentucky, right? But Bus has got an ego.
Yeah.
He's a multimillionaire, and Magic, he's at that point, he's finally becoming Magic. Like, that's and you need somebody to be like, all right, you're all great, but we need to get on this track. And that's what he did in the early part of the 80s.
Nope. That's it. Go ahead.
No, but I ain't talking about the NBA finals, because whatever.
Yeah. It, I ain't like either one of them. I was happy to see Luka lose, but I would have been happy to see the Celtics lose. It would have been that means I was sad to see one of them win a title, because that's just how it was this year. Not real compelling. A lot of blowouts and
just not a lot of pizzazz for me.
Yeah,
especially with the Celtics.
Mm-hmm. So Tatum and Brown got their rings, and okay, Brad Stevens has a ring now, and Joe Mazzulla steps in for Ime, and he got a ring. Okay, now I'm turning the page of next year. Y'all aren't no dynasty. Y'all aren't the greatest ever or anything like that. I mean, and you can't help who you beat, but that's about all I got.
It's no pizzazz.
Right.
That sometimes who you play, it does add a little bit to it along the way. I've always said, the 98 Kentucky team would have more pizzazz if we'd have beaten North Carolina in the championship game.
Yeah.
But Stanford and Utah, which the games were as good as the Duke game.
Yeah, sure were. Stanford game, man.
Overtime, like that Pete Sauer shot,
still got
hit the rim.
Still got high blood pressure from that one,
man. So, and for me, that is my favorite Kentucky game that nobody talks about when they talk about big games.
Yeah,
I mean, that was a game played within like 4 or 5 points for like 35 minutes.
Yeah,
Like, and outside of Andre Miller, not a lot of standout NBA talent on there.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So, anyway, I digress. But yeah, the '98 championship team. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you gotta give it to Wayne Turner just taking Mojo to the rack over and over.
Yeah, what is he doing? But like, so, but the thing. Oh, we were talking about. You can only play who's in front of you, right? The Lakers three-peat with Shaq and Kobe. That was the Pacers. Okay.
Yeah, Reg. The Pacers and Nets twice? Is that what it was?
Pacers, Sixers.
Oh yeah. Sixers.
And because Iverson did the walkover, step over Ty Lue. That was game one. That was the only game the Lakers had lost all postseason.
Yeah, that was
they went through their 15-1. And then with the Nets. So the three-peat, that doesn't have a whole lot of sizzle. And I get it. It's not like beating Boston, beating the Pistons, in the 80s or anything like that. But you take what you take.
Yep, that's it. As far as Dallas is concerned, Luka, maybe he's at that point where, you got to go through some things till you climb all the way to the mountaintop. But he got to guard some people. You got to like mentally say, I'm going to do this. And 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter, you got 5 fouls. Taking a charge, that was the easy way out, because the only other option was to pull up your shorts and get in a stance and guard for possession. And he didn't want to do that. He's like, let me get this charge, and maybe if I get the call, then we get the ball. He killed the rally. They might have came back and stole that game. And I mean, you never know. And then you got 5 fouls and do that. That's
you got to play some kind of defense.
Man.
That's for me, that's what separates. You and I talk all the time. Hall of Fame is a big VIP section, but there's different levels to the VIP section. And for basketball, if you want to be at the big boys, you got to play some defense.
Mm-hmm.
For me, that's what kind of hurt Steph a little bit. Is today's the 8-year anniversary of the Cleveland and Golden State. 3-1 coming back. Yep. In Game 7, they put you on Kyrie.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. It's tough. I get it.
Yeah.
But that's your only defensive highlight. So I say that to just say Luka got to give us a little bit more. I think Luka is special, not quite as special as Jokic.
Right.
Because Jokic is not a fantastic defender either, but it looks like he tries. And I think if you try, your teammates will be like, okay, he trying.
Yeah.
But he ain't got it.
Yeah.
Kind of like when Rudy's teammates watch him try to make a move to the basket. Like, he ain't just messing around. He just this bad for real. He ain't. He tried his best.
Yeah.
Like, and that sounds bad. They make him sound like a Make-A-Wish kid. Like, oh well, he tried. But I think if you try, then your teammates will be like, all right, well, we can, because you do X, all this kind of stuff. But Luka don't look like he trying.
Mm-hmm.
And Luka not trying on defense and dribbling for 20 seconds just about every other possession.
Mm-hmm. And after, maybe it was Game 3 or Game 2, the whole Luka defensive liability compilation was rolling around.
That thing was 6 minutes long, Vinny.
And at the end of it, when they get a bucket, he like, what y'all doing? He looking like, what's at the other 4? Like they the problem.
Man.
I tweet out, I know you remember Chappelle's show when Paul Mooney said, Wayne Brady make Brian Gumbel look like Malcolm X. Luka Doncic make James Harden look like Gary Payton on that, man, because it was
because it looks like he's intentionally sabotaging what y'all trying to do.
Right. And then go get mad at them. They go right around you, you giving up layups, you not rotating, not doing nothing. And then like, guys, come on. Come on, man.
At the park, that gets you in a fist fight. But yeah, congrats to Boston, whatever.
And as far as was it Kyrie? Where they just kind of roughed him up. It made me, you talked about this, but correct me if I'm wrong. It looked like Kyrie was young TB at Shawnee Park for the first time.
Man,
I mean, they was roughing him up and pushing him around. He couldn't cook like he normally cooks, and he didn't know what to do.
I think he got into his head a little bit since it was Boston, and I don't know what went on when he was playing for Boston. I don't know. He just seemed detached. It was a world away from that Game 7 in 2016. As good as LeBron was, hey, this wasn't no Batman and Robin. This was Batman and Batman.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this 41-4, like the Cavs, like, all right, y'all two, let's do it. I mean, and that's what happened. So the thing is, we know Kyrie is capable, but that's also been 8 years ago, right? So it's one of those things. I think he got into his head a little bit. Look, Boston still sucks. He fell into the stands the other night, and Mike Breen said something about the fans, and then you got all these people from Boston. It's not all of us, buddy. I know I've shared this with you before. I'm gonna share it with you again. A few years ago, the Boston Globe, the paper of record, decided to do an investigation. Their point was, we're not as racist as people say we are. That's what they wanted to prove. When they finished, they said, oh no, we're way worse than we thought. And had all these breakdowns about, hate crimes per capita, you name it. So anytime somebody's like, Boston is, and you see all these people, not all of a lot, your newspaper did the numbers, like, oh wow. Not only is it bad as people say, it's worse.
Yeah.
Anytime I see somebody, Boston, that's just a rumor. I've got it saved. I'm like, no, your paper was like, wow, we bad, y'all. So no joy for Boston. Plus those miserable accents. I need to stop. But
Jason Tatum went to Duke. Now he plays for Boston. So it's just all that.
Yeah, man. But this victim complex, like y'all got to watch Tom Brady, like the last 20 years in Boston. Get out of my face, man. Even the Celtics won twice. And they ain't done that since Cheers came on.
Yes, we trying to be back. Had some Wi-Fi stuff on my end. My apologies. I think it just cut out for a minute and
Yeah.
glitched everything out. Apologize for that. So everybody watching and listening on the stream, we apologize for the lag that you will see or hear when you listen. For those that listen on Spotify, wherever, we apologize for that. Just that stuff beyond your control sometimes. I forgot I was going. We was talking about Kentucky. We was talking about the finals.
Yeah.
We talking about Luka and his shortcomings and all that. And the big news, also sad news. This is like the third week in a row. Yeah, we have Bill Walton, Jerry West, and now Willie Mays. You paying tribute with the San Francisco Giants hat. Just, the numbers don't even do him justice. The man was already, he'd been in the Hall of Fame since we were like 2. He went in the Hall of Fame like 1980. Yeah. So, I mean,
yeah.
You'd always see him, of course, still close with the Giants. Remember him there with, Barry Bonds, Bobby Bonds, McCovey. You'd always see him out there at the games. But passed away at the age of 93. The catch, everybody's seen the basket catch over the shoulder in the World Series, and that was 1954. But it's just part of our consciousness, man. And that's one of his. It's not even one of his favorite plays. That's like I made a lot of plays better than that. And that's him talking. Who's that dude, man?
Just, I mean, as we kind of touched on, there's Hall of Famers, there's greats, and then there's the big table. And Willie Mays, from eyewitness account, highlights, people running the numbers, he on that short list for best we've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
However you slice it, however you dice it. But getting his start at 17 in the Negro Leagues,
mm-hmm.
and working his way up, one of my dad's favorite players. He was really, really good. I mean, you run out of words to say, but he was really, really good. And then continued to be an ambassador for the game.
Mm-hmm. If you've seen our guy Roy Wood Jr. doing the clips and segments and interviews from Rickwood Stadium there in Birmingham, which is where Willie started. They were doing a minor league game there last night at the stadium. MLB Network carried that. It was Roy, Chris Young, I forget the other guy that was with him. Tomorrow, the Giants, Willie Mays' Giants, and the Cardinals are playing a game at Rickwood Field in Birmingham, home to the Birmingham Barons and the Birmingham Black Barons. And so this whole thing has been a lead up to the game tomorrow, which is still going to go on. But they paused the game last night when they announced that Willie Mays had passed away. A lot of people, big standing ovation, and because he's from right there. And Roy's been talking to these old timers from, play for the Clowns, play for the Biscuits, play for all these different teams. The interviews, the stories that they've been telling has been really cool. And he's not, besides Bob Kendrick, which we've crazy, we had both of them on the show. Roy you're not going to have a better dude to do it. I mean, he's from Birmingham. Tried to play high school baseball himself. The picture of his picture that they put up last night. He said, "You can tell I didn't play much because I'm still standing there. I got my watch on." He's there with his watch on in his high school baseball picture. So, but it's just been really good stories and content, man. So, but the man was Willie Mays, 24-time All-Star, Terry. Forget the fact, if you play 20 years, That's amazing. You're gonna be an all-star 24 times?
That's ridiculous.
An
Like
all-star 24 times.
that's I mean that's ridiculous. And that's why you got to put him on that short list. Like I I can't it's hard to rank those kind of things, right? Because there's a lot of guys you didn't see play.
Yeah.
Uh, so I have to defer to people that watched him play, and even in real time, it's like, wow, this is something different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. 660 home runs, 12 gold gloves. I don't think the gold gloves were a thing his whole career. That kind of started after he was already
After he was
probably
already doing it,
could have won two
yeah,
or three or four more. A couple years away from the game because he was in the military. So, you could add 2 more years
hmm
of high in his prime stats to over the 3,000 hits, 300 career batting average, uh, 2-time MVP, stolen base champ. I mean, just when they say 5'2",
but
run, hit for power, hit for average, and field and throw, all the two. Hey, he got every tool. It is
it,
something.
and that's the reason the Giants are a thing in San Francisco. The Giants and the Dodgers moved the same year,
Mm-hmm.
and like I was talking about with the Dodgers and the Lakers getting out there, it really, really helps if you have all-time greats and you're contending from day one. It's not like, what we think of the expansion teams where it's, oh, they're going to stink for a while, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is the Lakers showing up with Baylor and West. This is, I'm trying to think who was on the Dodgers at that point, but they were contending for the World Series, right? That's the Giants showing up with Willie Mays. Like that's, I mean, so, and then pretty soon after they move, they're contending, but they win. And that's how you get those longtime fans out there in California, especially Southern California, because you've had a couple of generations to build that up, and they've won consistently.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
but just showing up with Willie Mays, like they're putting a team in San Francisco. You imagine like being a San Francisco in like the Giants, what? And then you get to have Willie Mays for the next quarter century or whatever.
Yeah. And they were, different shows listened to today. Uh, you being a Niners fan, he played his career in Candlestick Park, which wasn't the greatest park for baseball. It was a lot of times better weather for your 49ers than it was for the Giants in the summertime. It was cold, it was windy,
Yes,
it's a
yes.
pitcher's park where it's hard to go yard in a park like that, and he still put up these numbers. Don't I mean
Yeah,
let him play in the
yeah.
Phillies or let him play in Cincinnati Stadium today, where I mean you a pop up and it's a pop up in Cincinnati goes to the Ohio River. It's a home, let Willie play in that.
But yeah, you're for me. I think Candlestick was one of the first places to kick off the multi. We're going to do a lot of things here, multi-use stadiums,
Mm-hmm.
and they weren't great for anything.
No.
Like nothing built, from the early '60s, through the '80s. It's all kind of terrible
Yeah.
until the Orioles are like, we don't have to play in places that look like this, and
Right.
now we're going the other way where they're all ridiculous.
Yeah.
But yeah, Candlestick. I've talked to 49ers fans like it was not it was it's it for me it's like Rupp Arena. Rupp Arena is not particularly special.
Mm-hmm.
It's very cookie cutter.
Aesthetically, not aesthetically
It's
special. Yeah.
yeah. It's just okay. I'm saying that real quiet, but we remember it fondly because the teams were good.
Mm-hmm.
Like we got what like 80 something percent winning percentage in Rupp Arena. That's
Yeah.
what makes it special. Like I had to tell the wife objectively, yes, the denim uniforms are terrible. The blue ain't Kentucky blue, and it's just a lot. But the best
96.
basketball team I ever saw wore denim shorts on the way to a championship. So it romanticizes,
Yeah,
right? Like
exactly.
I've said, all those crazy uniforms from the 90s, and I've got the shorts for all of them, zigzags, icicles, all included. They were crazy. Some of them weren't very good, but we were going to Final Fours. So, so it really doesn't matter, what they're wearing. That's why my point when everybody was on the checkerboard. Like, we go to a Final Four, it won't matter what we're wearing.
That's true. This was just something to gripe about because we hadn't been to a Final Four. That's all it was.
And look, I noticed this today, man. We ain't got to lie about what Coach Cal did, man. I don't know if you saw the video of Coach Pope with the team at practice. Great. Love to see it. I don't need to see 50,000 comments. I guess we got coaching now. Look, man, that man did not con us for 15 years, y'all. Like, we ain't got to do this. We don't have to.
Yeah.
Well, we got a much better coach. I hope you are right, but we don't know. Because the bar is 5 Final Fours and at least 1 championship.
Yeah.
To have a better resume. Which is hard.
Yeah.
If you ever look at the coaches with 4 more Final Four appearances, there's a lot of Hall of Famers that don't even have that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I wish for but we ain't got it. We still in that whole breakup, Vinny. We still listening to the old tunes. We still, no, look.
Yeah.
The ex got remarried. You got remarried. Just don't even look at that old wedding album.
Yeah.
You ain't got to worry about it.
Yeah.
Because now it's like, new wife, mashed potatoes. They ain't got no lumps. Like, you gotta keep it moving, man. Like,
yeah. And everybody still got one eye on this.
Yeah, man.
Because
now we got somebody who can coach.
Because besides those comments, it was also Cal was on Jim Rome and Dan Patrick show today, and that's still, I don't know why that's still got to be content for us, just because what he's doing media over there. He used to do that here. Even he still would do them shows even when things was going down. So he just doing the same stuff over there because they're gonna reach out to him and have him on now that he's at Arkansas. So, but the fact that a lot of us are still so consumed by it.
Just gotta let it go, man. Like, I unfollowed Cal. He ain't my coach. Like, it ain't nothing personal. But I ain't gonna see you tweet out stuff about Arkansas. I don't care about that.
Mm-hmm. I did have to go in. I made my little jokey jokes when a month ago I already had a documentary about Cal's time in Arkansas, and I was like, man, he threw out the first pitch, and I think the documentary was out before he even was able to throw out the first pitch at the Arkansas game. I'm like, what kind of documentary y'all gonna have? This could be like 10 minutes of him. The plane lands. He signed the contract.
Happy,
and that's it.
They happy.
But I did have to get my little jokes off on that. But after that, I just kind of, I was done after that. But I was like, it's a little quick to be doing a doc. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I just don't want a whole year of every time something happens, glad we got a coach that can do X. Like, that man did not con us. Like, I mean, I know we want coaches to have to answer for their sins anytime they lose, but that man didn't con us out of nothing.
Nope.
Now we got a coach that can coach. Y'all saying what our rivals saying, like, all he did was roll out the balls and had no what?
Yep.
They've taken a 3-minute clip of Coach Pope doing some hands-on stuff. And I was like, well, we never saw that with Cal. Y'all just think that man just whoop-de-doo and didn't do anything.
So that's,
if your thesis is you can get to 4 Final Fours in the championship and you cannot coach at all. Come on, man. You ain't got to lie. You ain't got to lie, man. Like, just say what it is and keep it moving. You ain't got to be like that.
but they gonna be. So if I, you ain't got to be that way, and I can't be looking at what Cal's doing at Arkansas, but I can't also be looking at everybody that's with the retroactive shade either. So it's just gonna be over there doing what it's gonna do. So
Yeah,
you already know it is. You know it is. Arkansas gets Duke or Carolina in the ACC Challenge, and Kentucky didn't get either one of them. So that'll be all eyes will be on that. Don't let Cal beat whichever one they're playing, because that'll be,
Well, we're playing Clemson, which
Clemson's
Clemson.
Yeah.
But I just think it's a weird thing that, like, Kentucky, North Carolina, Kentucky, Duke. I would imagine that those matchups are going to be saved for something, not the ACC SEC challenge, if that makes sense. And I don't want to play Virginia because, buddy, that might be the one game. I will catch y'all later, because Virginia basketball hurts my feelings.
Michelle threw a question up a few minutes ago. We kind of touched on it. Who do we think will win the College World Series? I think Tennessee will now. Florida State had them all but beat, and Tennessee was making errors and looking rusty and looking rough. And to me, that was their game to lose, and then the pressure or whatever happens once you get a loss. But they found a way, and then they spoke North Carolina and put it on Florida State. I think now they kind of locked in, and it's, you got to have some luck. There was a homeboy went around and it wasn't called a third strike, and that kind of helped them keep the rally going. To me, I've been telling them down here, I said, that's y'all's Clint Sterner fumble, because remember when Arkansas had them beat in 98?
Yeah.
If they don't fumble, they lose to Arkansas at home, and they never have a chance to win. I said, that's y'all Sterner fumble, because homeboy was gone fishing, strike 3, but the third base didn't think so. I said, that was y'all's bailout, and now they look like they on track. And I'm gonna say Tennessee. I'm gonna hope for anybody else, but we'll see.
Yeah, I'd like to see Texas A&M do it, but Tennessee's locked in. I heard from quite a few folks that how we don't like Tennessee fans on the whole. There's some specific fans we do like, but Tennessee fans got a rep down there at Omaha. Now the reputation for LSU coming to town, that is a party. That is a party for the whole week. Because LSU folks, they will just, if LSU makes it, they just here for the whole week. It's different. LSU is different when they come.
Wow.
But they like the SEC, but Tennessee's on their bad list. And the Vanderbilt Whistler.
That's right.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll take them at their word. They have been there and had plenty of years to form these opinions, and they feel how they feel. They say what they said.
Yeah, like I said, man who I went with goes to at least 1 or 2 games every College World Series, and it's fun seeing the new teams that get there and different things like that. He was there for way back when Warren Morris for LSU hit the walk off to win the whole thing.
Yeah,
and he was just talking about how great experience that was, the difference between the new stadiums. It was good stuff. So I look, I don't want it to be Tennessee. I'd like to see A&M do it, but Tennessee is looking rough.
Yeah. They are. And that SEC story, man, that's, I've watched some of those other ones about other schools. That LSU Warren SEC story, Touch 'em All or whatever it's called. That's a good one, man. I nerd out on that kind of stuff, like all the sports videos and stuff like that. That's a good documentary for sure. going back to Willie Mays, I text our buddy Terry Hansen because he'd been there and done that and met everybody, and I just asked him had he had any interactions with Walton, West, or Mays. He had not met Bill Walton or Jerry West, but he had gotten to meet, I guess, Willie Mays back when Joe Torre was managing the Braves. He went into the office and asked to meet him in the press room, and Willie was talking. Joe Torre wouldn't interrupt, but then he saw the clubhouse manager for the Giants with Willie, and he stopped the clubhouse manager and got to meet him and shake his hand, and said he even stood there after Willie had went away and just was trying to process the fact that I just shook Willie Mays' hand. So Terry, who's met everybody and done almost everything there is to be done, was still kind of blown away by the fact that he got to meet Willie Mays. So I texted him earlier and he texted me that back. So I just thought that was pretty cool. I knew there was a chance that he had gotten to meet him, and he had. So cool stuff by our buddy, fellow Terry Hansen there up in St. Louis.
Yeah.
But yeah, just legends that's before our time. Just sad to see when they passed away like that. But definitely had to talk about that. And he did win the World Series in '54, the year he made that catch. They beat, I'm not sure who they beat, but they did win the World Series that year. So cool stuff. So now we got, the draft. Everybody wants to keep up with that. Our buddy JR kind of been calling the shots because, he's been getting that intel and, texting. I have him on back here in a couple of weeks after the draft of Fred is over with, just kind of recap that. Our buddy Craig Bates, I know he's up, on all the Stanley Cup stuff. The Oilers are trying to kind of make a series out of it. It was 3-0 in that, just like it was Boston and the Mavs, and now it's 3-2. So Florida Panthers, Edmonton Oilers, the hockey folks look like they're going to at least get a series. We didn't get much of one day, but
and we got the Olympic swim trials going on. Katie Ledecky, who's if you ever watch her race, like the last lap, she's going in this direction, and everybody else is going opposite of her. Like she's almost lapped the field. And that's ridiculous. That Cameron Brink for the Sparks tore her left ACL last night. Like I'm trying to do better with the WNBA. We got the season package. We got that. And obviously we want to keep up with what Caitlin Clark's doing. But I just want to watch a bunch of different games because it's like, oh, yeah, that's that Dana Evans that played at Louisville. And I love watching Ryan Howard. And as you and I have talked about, she probably top 15 ballers, men or women, at the University of Kentucky. Like she's still getting buckets. Like, so trying to come up a little bit more how they do things with the WNBA so I can have more learned takes than we're seeing out everywhere. Look, man, I hate to both sides it, but everybody's just coming from bad places with that, man.
Yeah.
Everybody's just coming out from bad places. No, Angel Reese didn't try to decapitate Caitlin Clark on Sunday. No, Angel Reese, you weren't exactly playing the ball all that well because you did hit her in the head. Like, we don't need to make it more than it is for anybody. But not to get too deep in that, but like everybody's just coming out with these new. Now people just yelling for no reason.
Yeah, and it keeps taking a life of its own every time. So,
like, can we please talk about the basketball?
And going back to Brink, she was going to be teamed up with Ryan Howard in the 3-on-3 for the Olympics. That hurts that team. Yeah, because they've been playing together. I think was it the FIBA
FIBA Cup or whatever it was, 2 year world champ, and they won, obviously. But yeah, that changes the dynamic of that team.
Mm-hmm. Sure does.
And so just wishing her a speedy recovery. But the Fever, they in the playoffs, man.
Hey.
They got to 5 wins, 2 or 3 more wins over the next 20-something games. And that will be the second most games they've won in a decade.
Man, it's gonna be a
Like people like, oh, the Sky and the Fever are not very good. They weren't good before the rookie. Like, man, come on, man.
mm-hmm. That's it.
And now they got a little bit of practice together, so the Fever are looking good. The Wild, the crazy thing, 12 teams, only 4 teams above 500.
Just beating each other up, man. That's all. Just beating each other.
I get it. They need to expand because no, but the basketball is good. Once you understand, they're not going to throw that lob. And I'm just, and I don't mean that derogatory. It's just different. It's like watching high school basketball or every kind of basketball is different. You'll see the way the men's and women's teams have to play in the Olympics. International basketball is different.
That's it. Sure enough. So we got that happening. We got, it'll be talking season for college football. It'll be, let's see. Maybe my Cowboys will get a contract for Dak or CeeDee Lamb or Micah Parsons, or maybe they won't. We'll just kind of whatever. But I don't blame CD for waiting. Just see all these other receivers get paid. I'm not mad at him for that. But just go see if my team's going to make an effort to lock somebody up or extend somebody, or more so I'm talking about Lamb and Parsons. I mean, we'll see what happens with Dak or whatever. Maybe he moves on or whatever. But maybe give CD and Micah a contract. But we'll see. Got Huber coming in just as we about to wrap up with some comments. I got Jay Hube. Care more about women.
Yeah, look. But yes. 1-0 when I was there, 2-0 when I wasn't there. Yeah, but the thing is, I did have the socks on. The socks took on a life of their own.
As they should have.
The socks, because when I was getting ready in the middle of the week, I said, I don't know, is the socks going to be too much? I don't know. But when I'm just, there's a lot. I got a lot going on. I had to take my foam finger and everything like that. I showed you the text. My daughter was like, "Yeah, take the phone." I'm like, whatever. So I'm driving. I got regular socks on. I'm like, you know what? Why else would I have blue and white striped Kentucky socks? What other purpose? What other kind of opportunity would present itself where these would be appropriate? And it was just Kentucky. Oh man, did you get those here? Oh, okay, all right. It's just, I love your socks. Even opposing people, like, hey, like even some Tennessee fans, I got some love. Like, hey, I'm like, all right.
Yeah, that was the right decision. That was the right decision.
Yeah, just that picture I took by the trophy. They had very nice young ladies like, oh, make sure that your stripes are good. On the side, like it became a life of their own, man. Just hey, socks. It was great. It was great. But I did wear them, for the other games. But yes, I look. I was making plans to be back there for the finals.
Yeah.
Because they were like, well, they can make it to the finals. All right. Yes. I was like, I will sleep in my car, like whatever. Yes. Because my thing was, look, man, if they get to the finals, in that situation, and they lose, okay. But if they win and I didn't go and it's only 2 hours away,
That'd be.
I was like, yeah, I'll go back. I'll make that happen. I'll be working from the road.
Get that I-80 truck stop Wi-Fi.
Yeah. But like I said, it was good to see and meet Jason. It was real brief and everything, but crazy again. We had to meet in downtown Omaha for that. But look, the Big Blue Nation, we were there. We were loud, talking to other people. They really appreciate the Kentucky fans. I said, look, we're new to this. Now, give us 5 or 6 trips. You will be tired of us because that's how we operate.
Yeah.
Our first couple of Final Fours, we were just glad to be here. And now we walk in like we own the place.
Yeah.
Like the SEC tournament, they know we ain't playing on Wednesday or Thursday.
Enjoy the novelty of us in Omaha while it lasts.
Yeah. Oh, that's why I told somebody, I was like, I just wanted to come because hopefully Kentucky comes to a lot more. Yeah. I want you, when you come back and you're like, man, these Kentucky fans are jerks, you can go back to your mind and remember that one guy with the socks wasn't. Remember when Kentucky was pure? I want to be a good memory.
Yeah, only hope, TV.
But yeah, just doing the Go Big Blue, the CATS chants, the blue white. Because I want to say it was like the 9th inning when it was 3-3. We've got the blue, white, and they do wolf pack, and that was going for a little bit. And that's the kind of stuff that makes it special. I love college sports, but again, I now if I'm watching for skill, I'm watching the NBA over college basketball, right?
Yeah,
I'm watching MLB over college baseball, right? Give me that. But those kind of moments, you don't get that in the professional, kind of thing.
Nope.
And I saw some people with some of those. My favorite, and I've told you this, when I go to games and do whatever. Yes. People got the Nike Kentucky stuff and all this kind of stuff. I love the hats and the shirts and stuff that have been through some things. Like this man in this Kentucky t-shirt, he cried when Leitner shot went in. Like I love that kind of those old Kentucky logos where they're not throwbacks. The people have just had them that long, right? Because I've had people love your throwbacks. No, I've actually just had this jersey for 30 years.
Yep.
That's how you got me with that Mashburn jersey. You're like, that's 30 years old. I was like, no, it's not 30 years old. I got it when I was high school.
Oh. And then the math starts mathing.
Rocco's was off the chain, man. Rocco's was off the chain.
Hello shots. Is it an old just building that's been there forever, just part of the fabric?
No, look pretty new. But yeah, it's right across the street from the stadium. Like it is right outside the front gate.
Location.
Yeah, so like I said, Omaha goes all in on it and everything. So Kentucky baseball, good start.
Absolutely.
To more than that. Boston, whatever.
Yeah. Looking for somebody to knock y'all out next year. I'm just New York. Somebody East step up first, and then get the right matchup out of the West if they win the East again. But come on.
But the only good benefit as a Brown was the MVP.
That is true. And that's it. That's all you can. That's all we got.
Yeah. And 30 years ago, your boys won.
Yeah.
I saw that. I like that NBA cobwebs.
Me too.
I had forgotten that it was Akeem that had blocked that last second shot by Starks.
No sir, John.
Akeem, he feel like he underrated because
and he was beat. He had to change direction quick and recover. and I was a little nervous. I was because you know how streaky Starks is. If he gets that off clean, that's one he would make with his crazy stuff.
Yeah. So for me, like I said, I think Akeem, and I've said this before, like he may be underrated because he was able to school a lot of those big men.
Yeah.
I mean, gave Shaq, he gave Shaq the blues, gave Dave Robinson the blues. Two totally like I don't think we talk about Hakeem enough.
And what is he? 6'10" on his best day. He wasn't
Yeah.
a
He would,
legit 7 foot. And he's doing it on Ramadan. He ain't even eating. He's
right.
fasting and losing 30 and 40 pounds and
Giving you
still out there
buckets.
doing work.
Bucket.
Yeah.
Hey, Akeem was different, man. And but I'm glad that the Rockets kept the Knicks from winning.
Yeah.
I don't need to do another little thing, y'all on BS3 clip up. Fans mad at me, but if they will just say it's just a theory, we think if the Knicks are good, the city is electric because nobody knows.
That's fair point.
I mean, it's 25 years since they made the finals. What are we doing?
Yeah, that's it. So yeah, we got that. We got in addition to the WNBA, we got the big three games coming up on the weekends too. We got some cats playing in that.
Yeah.
Cube this thing every year with the big three. And coming up in a few weeks, we got La Familia. Tyler Eulis is going to be coaching James Young, and Willie Cauley-Stein, Eric Bledsoe, and
I'm excited about that.
Killing Grady, Nate Sestina, host of other cats. So I'm glad they picked Tyler Eulis, man. He's going to be the perfect coach for them, and he's going to have a good coaching future anyway. But he's a perfect coach for this. Deron Lamb, he's a perfect coach for this squad coming up, man. So
a lot of greats that it feels like some of these guys should have played. Right? It feels like these guys should have played with each other.
Yeah.
But it's just like because I'm like, yeah, Eric Bledsoe, Lane was there 2 years. No, they didn't overlap. You know what I mean?
Sure didn't.
But that's part of the one and done. It feels like some of these guys should have played together.
Yeah. So it'd be fun watching them this summer when we're looking for the little stretch where there's nothing going on. Everybody waiting for football. You get the cats coming up in Rupp Arena for 4 or 5 days in this TBT. So still got some stuff to look forward to. We'll have some guests on. We'll do what we do. We're coming up on 500 episodes here in a few weeks, TB. So
all right, baby.
Yeah, man. So appreciate everybody still. Yeah. Checking us out on the live stream and listening and all that stuff. Huber with the comments, Michelle with the comments. We'll keep doing what we're doing and appreciate y'all continuing to come and check us out.
And glad to meet Huber. It was great. We're gonna meet him for a football game too. I promise him that. We're gonna come in and do that. But hey, I'm very proud of the baseball team and the fans. It was, like I said, in person. I mean, I saw my team walk off a home run. Like I can't even do nothing with that. You know what I mean? Like, because I was like, okay, let's get a win. And then it's like, well, I got to see something spectacular. And I'm so glad that Big me yelling because just
Ben got that perfectly, man.
Oh yeah, he was my photographer. He was very gracious and everything like that. But just I didn't know he got that shot until like we were out of the stadium and blah 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 on the way back, just trying to come down, right? Because the stadium is like this, and there's nothing but a couple thousand Kentucky fans just cheering and go Big Blue, and then they're like, well, you got to leave, okay? But get back out on the street, and just it just reminded me of the championship games. Again, youth. We were at Woodland and Euclid. But because there was another team that was blue, Florida, and so I had to discern a little bit, But just it was fantastic. It was great.
That's all right. That is all right, man. Appreciate you sharing all the details before and after, man, and all the pictures you took and the videos and And then Ben getting those shots too. That was great, man. That was great. So
Oh yeah.
won't ever be a first time for Kentucky in the College World Series again. And you were in there, man. So
Yeah, absolutely.
good stuff. So just last comment before we wrap it up. See what oh yeah. Come to the football game and meet before the Jello shots, before the 20
There we go.
hello shots that he
Yeah,
had.
Yeah.
Appreciate you coming, Hugh. Glad y'all had a safe trip out to Omaha and back. We'll be back next week. We do this every Wednesday on the BS3 Network. We stream it on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Just follow at Cats Talk Wednesday, and we'll be there. You'll find us. We'll be back next week doing the same thing, man. TB, y'all be safe. Let your voice rest. Have a good rest of the week at work, man. And
No, it sounds like Doc Rivers.
we'll holler at everybody next week. And I don't know if Doc even gonna be back in Milwaukee. I don't know if he should even get to come back, man. He just, I don't know. But whatever, man. I think Jamie Foxx does a good one too, man.
Yeah. That's what I'm sounding like. Crazy.
Well, we gonna go on that note, man. But appreciate y'all checking us out. And we'll holler at y'all next Wednesday. Cats Talk Wednesday, BS3 Network. See y'all later. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, like I said, it was a great it was just a great environment on Saturday. I just had to take a lot of pictures, a lot of stuff. It was cool. It was cool to see Kentucky do it.
That's all right, man. Good stuff. Good stuff. And yeah, you gotta rock them socks.
Yeah. I don't know what I was like. That's my whole thing, but that was awesome too.
Yeah, because nobody's seen that, so everybody gonna be like, "Oh, where'd you get Jim?"
Yeah. I had a lot of good
people taking pictures with you just because you got them socks.
Yeah, I had a couple people take pictures of my socks. So yeah, it turned out to be a good decision. So
my cousin's a big Auburn fan, and the year we went down there and beat them with Randall Cobb, the year before they came up here with Cam Newton and beat us barely. We wasn't winning SEC road games back then, so I'm in my mind like, at least I get to say I've been to Auburn and get to go to Toomer's Corner. I did all the touristy stuff at Auburn, and we probably gonna lose this game. But my cousin had some of these, Auburn colored overalls, and he had a toboggan because it was October. It should have been a perfect, just nice, comfortable, but it was freezing. It felt like November, December. So he had this toboggan that looked like a 1920s leather helmet, but it was Auburn. And we roll up on campus, I'm in Kentucky stuff, and everybody, all the Auburn fans were doing him like they were doing you about yourself. Oh, dude, where you get them overalls at, man? Hey, did you buy them here? Or did you? Oh, man, where'd you get? We got to get a picture of this man right here. War Eagle, man. Hey, get a picture. And so the whole time, my cousin is like the star of campus, and we stopping because Auburn fans stopping him, just like you in them socks. But that's how they was doing him. And he was, hey, man, I just got him right here. Same kind of thing. It's crazy when you get something unique. All the other fans, everybody gonna,
because my part of me was like, worst case scenario, I see if I could try to get credential. But I'm like, man, I just want to experience this as a fan. You know how it is when you now I need to scream and yell, man. I need to be able to yell at the umpire. I need a little bit of freedom that, Covenant's just not gonna get it to me, man.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Plus,
That's
I was like, I can't show up to the College World Series just in a regular old shirt. What the hell? Come on now.
that's right. That's right. Just a classic polo. Yeah.
Yeah, hell no, I gotta wear like a orange or green. No, man, no. I had to.
Can't let your hair down. You just had to be free and fan out. I get it.
Because I would have got thrown out. Because my reaction, if I was in the booth, like I would have been it would have been the same. I'd have been kicked out of the booth.
Yeah, for messing up the decorum in the
Yeah.
I
Like,
got
y'all better than me because I'd be acting a fool.
yeah, that's it. Well, man, y'all be safe, be good. Tell
Yeah.
Kate hello and
Absolutely.
Mama B and everybody too, man. So
Yes, sir. Take it easy, Vinny. I'll see you on them streets.
all right, man. We'll holler at you.